How's it going, everybody? So this is a Flip Mastery video. This is only for people on Flip Mastery, so please don't share this with anybody else. But I'm going to be going over the information leading up into Double Experience Weekend on May 19th. So we've got a Double Experience Weekend that's coming up that is not it's not something we are used to, because this Double Experience Weekend is going to be showing up at a very random time. We're definitely not used to having a Double Experience Weekend in the middle of the Double Experience weekends. Like, we just had one around March, and we're going to have another one in September. So we basically have like an extra Double Experience weekend. So with the fact that it was kind of like dropped on us with a shock, like is dropped, and it was not something that people were expecting. So due to this, the Grand Exchange is just going crazy, and it's absolutely wonderful. I'm definitely loving this, and really going to have fun with this. But what this means for Flip Mastery, guys, is the fact that it really opens the doors for huge margins, and allows us to make a lot more money than we would normally be making for Flip Mastery. So when it comes to Flip Mastery, here's something you have to understand, and that is that the prices are changing very, very rapidly. And with the fact that they're changing really rapidly, oh yeah, I got a golden mystery egg, although I don't think I actually needed any more golden mystery eggs. You've already collected all the golden. Why would it give me one of these? Oh, that's so stupid. Bye-bye. If you already, yeah, that just completely threw me off. Okay, so it opens up a lot of new doorways. So something you have to understand about the items being really volatile in the market is that prices will change very, very rapidly. If you are buying something at, I'll just throw an example out there. If you're buying something at 3,000, and then for some reason when you like price check it in 20 minutes, if it's like instant buy is now 2,800 and instant sell is even lower than that, and you're like, holy cow, and you freak out. What I would really, really encourage you guys to do is to don't freak out over stuff like that. Because leading all the way up until May 19th, that is the kind of thing that could definitely happen in the Grand Exchange, and honestly will happen a couple times. And the way you should be thinking about your flipping is going up until Double Experience is that you need to expect high risk. You need to expect high risk investments. You need to expect high risk, even extremely short term flipping, as in like a 20 or 30-minute flip. You have to expect very high risk to be involved with those things. So the way you should actually be looking at it is, okay, the prices changed, and instead of panic dumping them, kind of assess the situation and be like, okay, so I could sell these. I could sell these right now for this new price, or I could hold on to them, because you have to. If you guys take a look for a second at the Double Experience graph, you will okay, not really Double Experience graph, but if you guys look at any of the items that will be on this list of the Flip Mastery, like all the Flip Masteries are going to be. It's going to be pretty large lists, but almost all the items not all of them, but almost all the items on the lists, you guys will be able to look at. And if it is a supply that is used for Double Experience training, like, so let's say, for example, one of the items on the list is mahogany planks. We'll just use that as an example. So mahogany planks is a really hot item for Double Experience weekend. That item is going to continue to overall rise until Double Experience weekend. It will experience short dips and stuff like that, and if you look at the graphs for mahogany planks, you will see that there are dips in those. So if we look right here, actually we'll look at black dragonhide. That's the one I've got. That's the one I've got pulled up right here. So if we look at black dragonhide, as you can see right here, this was our last Double Experience weekend right here, and this is another one right back here. As you can see, what happens is, like, Double Experience was probably announced, like, let's see, what was this, June, August, September, okay, so it was like probably right here, like August-ish that they got, actually, yeah, it was probably August-ish that it got announced. I can't remember, I have to actually look, but it was probably July or August that got announced. But as you can see, the prices skyrocketed. After the price skyrocketed, they dipped back down. Like, look at that, up to 43.16, which means that in the Grand Exchange itself, the actual pricing, it was probably higher than this. But that's what it showed in the Grand Exchange. then it dumps all the way down to 38.22. I mean, that's a huge drop. I mean, what if you guys were flipping something and it was 43 or 4,400, and then a half hour later it's 3,800? You're gonna be like, oh my God, I just lost everything. So what if you look though, slowly climbs back up, passes what it was before, and continues to rise until it gets to the peak, that peak double experience, that Friday. Somewhere right around here is that Friday. So you got that. You look over here, exact same story. It goes up and then it dips way down, and then it goes back up, and then it peaks up here. So what you got to look at, what you guys have to consider is the fact that these items are going to continue rising all the way until double experience weekend overall. Like the day, for that day they may dip down, but they're going to be rising overall. And that's what you have to keep in mind. So if something looks like you might lose a little bit of money on it, don't panic about it. What you can do is two different scenarios. Number one, you could be like, okay, I'm not actually going to lose that much if I sell these. So then you can sell them for their new price, and then eat the loss and continue flipping. Like if it's a very small loss, then who cares? Just sell them off and continue flipping. Another option. You could try to sell them to other players. So actually there's three options. You could actually sell them to other players. If you have like an item like Black Dragonhide Leathers or Mahogany Planks, something like that, you can sell those to other players for more than they go on the Grand Exchange. You can get your money back that way. A third option is just going to be to hold on to them until double experience actually comes around. Because like I was saying, the price does overall continue to rise until it gets to what price it's eventually going to be at. So with that in mind, it's it is risky volatile flipping, but it's really only risky if you make a bad move, or if you voluntarily choose to accept the loss that you may face. Overall, though, guys, you're not really going to have a whole lot of risk as far as like making a loss. I guess when I say high risk investing, I mean it's not really honestly that high risk investing. It's honestly high risk flipping. It's more just volatile flipping. That's probably what I should say. A lot of people don't know the definition of volatile. That's why I say high risk instead. It also sounds cooler. So you've got those things to keep in mind, but basically that's what we can expect going up into the actual double experience weekends. We can expect the flipping to be pretty crazy, which is awesome. You want those things to rise and dip and rise and dip, and you want people to panic because that's what creates margins. That's the margins that we can be taking advantage of. So look forward to that. That's the main thing. The main thing I want to tell you guys in this first flipping flip mastery video is going to be that. Also, another thing, guys, and this kind of goes right along with the selling to other players. With the flip mastery, as you see also on the graphs, and this kind of goes along with both. It goes along with the fact that everything's continuing rising. It also goes along to selling to other players. Flipping is more is obviously more focused on short term, and flipping is also really good for people that don't have billions and billions and billions. So for people that are trying to build up their banks, they need to quickly flip it, and that's kind of what we mostly focus on in Flip Mastery. Is we focus on the short-term stuff to build up your bank. Excuse me, one sec. Woo! I'm allergic to not making a bunch of money. So, all right. So what you can kind of take away from that though is okay. So you've got the option there where you could just be say you buy an item for 5,200. And then it sells for 5,350, and you can flip a bunch of them, make some quick money, and you're like, oh, that's pretty awesome. Then you move on to the next item. What you could do is, if you have a little bit of extra money left over, you could look at the graphs for that item, and instead of just like selling real quick what you get in your first buy, you could wait a couple buy limits. Like so it's for we'll use Mahogany Planks for example again because. I like those, and also we already used them once. So, okay, with Mahogany Planks, you have a 10,000 buy limit. If you were able to buy 10,000 of them and not be stressed out about money, and you can put those away in your bank. If you're able to buy like 30,000 of them, then what you could do is you could wait for 12 hours, because it would take 3 sets of 4-hour periods. You could buy 3 sets of 10,000 mahogany planks, and then what you can do then is you can sell them to another player for a higher value, because the fact that you're selling them outside the GE, and they have more value outside of the GE than they do in the GE, and then people will pay a higher price. Typically with mahogany planks, anywhere from 200 to 300 extra GP per plank, based on the instant buy price. So if you guys are looking to find out, how much should I be selling these for? I mean, the sky's the limit, honestly. All you got to do is try to get someone to agree with your price. I mean, that's really all it's about. There's not really any staple price. Like, when you go in the Grand Exchange, their stuff's only going to sell for what it's going to sell for. But when you're outside the Grand Exchange, and holy cow, by the way, this Rune Goldberg is really bad today. If you're trying to sell stuff outside the Grand Exchange, then there is no limit. It's whatever people agree to pay. So with that in mind, keep that in mind, and just haggle with people. So if like right now, at the time I'm making this video, 3,000 each is how much mahogany planks are in the Grand Exchange. But on the forums, people will pay anywhere from 3,100 all the way up to 3,000. Who knows? 3,004, 3,005. I mean, who knows? Who knows? If you talk to somebody and you get them excited about the item, and you're like, hey, they keep going up. They're going to go up more tomorrow. Obviously I'm not going to sell them for cheap. But you're not going to be able to buy this many by tomorrow. You can hype it up and get people interested in your item by causing a bit of hype there. So that is definitely a good strategy to use, and I definitely encourage you to do that. So yeah, guys, that's really it for the starter here. As far as like not freaking out about the flip things. The next thing that I would recommend for you guys, is kind of it's how you guys handle your flips for all the way to the 19th. What I would do is I would keep a spreadsheet. And not a spreadsheet about the total amount of money that you've made up until the 19th. That's not really what I'm talking about. You can totally do that if you want to. It's actually really fun. You can actually put your total buy and your total sell price for flips, and then how much you've been making on your flip mastery. That's really fun to do, and that's definitely encouraged to do that. But this is a little bit different. What you could do is you can take a spreadsheet or a notepad or whatever you want to do. When you flip an item and you liked that item, like say it flipped really fast, or it made you a lot of money, or maybe you just liked the item, it went smoothly, it was a smooth flip. Then what you can do is you can just write down that item, and then that way, when you go back through and you're about to flip again, like so, say you do that during your 4-hour period, and then you've got another 4-hour period coming up where you're able to flip again. What you can do is price test. So price test or price check, that means to instantly buy one and then instantly sell one, and then those two prices tell you what your margins are. Kind of like how I put them in the flip lists. So if you have, we'll use mahogany planks one more time. If you buy those for 3,000 and then you instantly sell it, and then it goes for 2,950. And by the way, what I mean by instantly buying and instantly selling, I have posted a few different guides as far as to how to instantly buy and instantly sell things, but the way you instantly buy and sell things is just to pay way more than what it's worth, or sell it for way less than what it's worth. So that means if you're going to instantly buy something, let's say for those mahogany planks, if you're going to do those, then that means you would be instantly buying it for maybe 20,000 gold or 1,000,000 gold. It doesn't matter. It just has to be higher than what it would buy for. So if you put in there for 20,000, and then it says you bought it for 2,999, then that means that 2,999 is the max price in the Grand Exchange at the time. Now, if you were to instant sell that one, and then instant sell means to put in there for like 1 GP and see what you get back. And now, if you got 2,900 back, then that means you know that your buy can be 2,900, and your sell can be 29.99. So that is your margins for the mahogany planks. So what you can do is once you start creating that list of items you like for your Flip Mastery, you can basically just, you can be like, okay, Flip Mastery came out yesterday. I'm waiting for the new Flip Mastery to come out, and then I want to flip some items. Or maybe Flip Mastery did just come out, but it doesn't contain your item in there that you wanted to do again, because obviously the items change frequently. So if it does not contain the item that you want to do, then you can just price check your item that you enjoyed on your own, and then that way you have your margins for that. So what you can do is you can use Flip Mastery to create a gigantic list of items that you can flip every 4 hours. And then, I mean, honestly, you could literally sit there and just flip for the full 4 hours, make a whole bunch of money, and then when the 4-hour period comes up again, then do it again. And then just keep using Flip Mastery to add more to your list, and then just generate a really good list. I would recommend to not really add your prices on there. I mean, you can make your list however you want to do it, and you can set up however you want to do it. But I wouldn't really recommend putting your pricing on there. I mean, you might want to put down how much you earned on there, or how much the margin usually is, which would be really useful. That would be really useful, actually, if you put how much the margin typically is. Although, remember, the double experience weekend super skews prices because there's extremely big margins right now. So with that in mind, you don't really want to, if you're going to keep track of the margins during double experience weekend, you want to remember to forget those margins after double experience weekend, because they're going to go back to the tighter margins, the more accurate margins. So anyway, that's some stuff to think about, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. We've got some more Flip Master stuff coming up. May is going to be pretty crazy for Patreon, so looking forward to that. It's just going to be nuts with the fact that everything is going on with Double Experience Weekend. That opens up a bunch of flipping possibilities. Also, a lot of really good investing mastery. If you guys also have investing mastery, there's going to be a lot of really good investing mastery. This is honestly probably going to be one of the best months that we've ever had for investing mastery. Investor mastery finally gets to shine. Flip Mastery has kind of always been the shining star for Patreon, but I think Investing Mastery is really going to shine hard during May. So looking forward to that stuff. Anyway, as always, send me a message if you guys have any questions, and I will talk to you guys in the game. See ya.